Hi, AJ. I think where I get unstuck is what you said about the truth of my desire, but also my belief. I have a belief that I don't deserve money because when I was about 8, I asked my dad if I could have some pocket money. And he screamed at me and said, "How dare you ask me for money?
Yeah.
Don't you get everything that you want?" And of course, as a little girl, I didn't have the gumption to turn around and say, "Well, no, that's why I'm asking you for pocket money." But it did set me up very strongly that I didn't deserve money and I wasn't allowed to ask for more money. So once I found that out, then I realised that just having a desire to have more money wasn't going to do it. But I still haven't been able to get right into that causal. Even though I really don't want a lot of money, I don't know whether I've ever had a true desire to have heaps of money, but I would like to have a little bit more than what I've got so that, you know, I can go and have some fun occasionally.
Yeah, see, you're not telling the truth.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. Time before last you talked about God's truth and our truth.
Yeah, well, you're not even telling your truth.
Yeah, and I'm stuck trying to tell any kind of truth. Yeah.
Because
that is the truth.
The truth is... Now you've told the truth. But the truth is this about the money issue for you. What you currently have created is what you wanted. That's the truth. So if that's the case, what you've got now is a lack of funds, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so what I've got now is a lack of funds. Lack of money, shall we say. Mm-hmm. Right?
Okay.
If that's what I have created, then under this law, basically what I'm saying is what you truly desired, you created.
Yes.
So what you truly desire is a lack of money.
So how do I get to the causal to get rid of that?
It's really easy. All you've got to do is ask yourself this question. Why would I do that?
Okay. Yeah.
What are the reasons that you can see straight away why you'd want to create a lack of money?
It's probably a comfort zone. It's what I know.
Okay, so you're basically saying fear is one way. You're actually afraid of having more. Okay, so that's one, but go on.
I really don't know. If I do know, I don't know how to express it.
Yeah, you do know.
Do I?
Yeah. Everybody knows the reason why.
Okay.
We just often...
I don't deserve it.
Okay, there's another good one. Getting a bit light, that one, isn't it? Let's move that one away. I don't deserve it. Okay, any others you can feel?
Well, I feel like I didn't receive the response that I thought I was going to get from my father.
Yeah, now you're getting more closer, right?
So,
what was the response you got?
Anger.
Okay.
So I didn't feel like he...
So what's the relationship between wanting money and a father's approval?
Well, there was none. I mean, I was shocked with the response that I got from him.
So Daddy doesn't love me.
Yeah.
If I want money.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, he's the one who yelled at me again when I left my husband and said, "You've just thrown your security away."
Yeah, but that's a whole different issue than money, isn't it?
Okay.
So now you're raising a separate issue. This is what we often do, by the way. We throw in a furphy to get us away from the real issue.
Okay, well, we'll forget that furphy.
So I call that one a furphy.
Yeah, okay.
And might be an issue you have emotionally, true, but it's not an issue related to this specific problem. This specific problem is you have a lack of money and you desire it.
Yeah.
And you've got to own that you desire it before you can ask yourself the question of why would I desire it?
Yeah.
Right? And then when I ask the question of why would I desire it, I start listing the reasons why I desire a lack of money.
Okay.
Right? These reasons need to emotionally leave me before money will come into my life. And anything else you do, you can work your guts out, have 3 jobs, do whatever you want. At the end of the day, anything else you do, this will cause a continual lack of money or your own exhaustion, one of the two. Because obviously, if you feel like you've got a lack of money, often people get driven into being a workaholic, so eventually they get money, but what happens in the rest of their life? Well, that all falls to bits too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you don't want that happening either. You want to have abundance, but also happiness.
Yes.
Don't you? Okay, so this one's a very big one for you.
Mm.
All right, so let's translate that into, all right, God doesn't love you if you have money either.
No.
This is a big multi-generational injury on the planet, you know. Happy are the meek, since they will inherit the earth. And you know what a lot of people interpret that to be? Happy are the poor, since they will inherit the earth. Now, there's a whole big difference between the word meek and the word poor. And we don't often understand the difference, and often it's mistranslated as a difference as well. And so we come up with these beliefs. You have also a lot more beliefs about money. Money is evil.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm evil if I want it.
Yeah.
Right? These are all beliefs. They are all emotions that need to be released before abundance will appear.
Mm.
So with myself, I had heaps of them. Right? And then I did the whole intellectual thing for a while, you know. So what I did for a while was, you know, I was always fine with spending money. Right? So, in other words, I'm generous when I have it. So if I have it, I spend it, usually on other people generally. And so I have no problem with spending it. A lot of you do have problems with spending it, by the way. Mm. A lot of you get it, and then you want to hoard it. Right? Why? You might have 100 grand sitting around. Why do you want to hoard it? That $100,000 could be creating things for you, really beautiful things in your life, lots of different things in your life if you spend it. Right? And you want to hoard it? Why do you want to hoard it for? Because you're afraid of your own financial insecurity. That's the only reason why you want to hoard it. So look at that emotionally. There's emotions there. But then a lot of us also have a rejection of money. In other words, we're fine spending it, but we're not fine getting it. Right?
I lost my key card the other day, so I reckon this one's up for grabs, because I went to buy some bickies and stuff to bring here today and I had no money. I couldn't get at my money.
Okay, so this is definitely something for you to look at emotionally. There is some deep childhood mum and dad emotions involved in a lack of money.
I know, I understand now that when I did ask Dad about the pocket money, his response was from fear, because he didn't have any spare money. Yep. And he was in a great deal of fear. Yep. At the time around money. And
you don't get Daddy's love if you ask for money. No. But there's also, for many people, an equation of, if somebody gives me money, it means they love me.
Yeah, I'm concerned about that too at the moment.
Yeah.
That I'm doing some things for the wrong reasons. Where
you're giving some of your money away, trying to get people's love.
Yeah, I've done that a lot with my kids. To my detriment, I've given them money. Yep. But now, on the other hand, in a relationship, I don't want... I'm feeling like a relationship could be... the motive behind a relationship could be security, and I don't want that to happen either.
No, that's not true either.
Okay, right. I want it. That's why I'm creating it.
Exactly.
But I want to get that emotion out of the equation.
It's true that you want to change that.
Yeah.
That's very, very different than you saying I don't want it.
Yeah.
So understand, a lot of times when people say in these discussions that we have, when I say to you, no, that's not true, the true state is the emotion that's in you right at the moment. I understand you do have some desires to change it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But before you can change anything, you need to admit the state you're in.
Yeah.
And the state you're actually in is quite different. You do want to have a man in your life for security reasons.
Yeah.
Because you can't create your own security.
Okay, right.
Financially, right?
Yeah.
You're struggling to create your own financial security. What you need to do instead is address the reasons why you want to have this lack of money, have a lack of financial security. There's a lot of things in this. One of the things is, if a man comes along and rescues you, isn't that going to feel wonderful?
Yeah.
It's not going to be wonderful.
I know, but it's, yeah,
it feels
that's
that
right.
way.
I don't want it to be a false thing.
Yeah.
You know?
So intellectually we have a desire at this point to change the emotion, so that's really great. But we must first, before we can change the actual emotion, recognise the truth of the emotion. And the truth of the emotion is, I desire a lack of money. And the reason why I desire a lack of money is I want some right knight in his steed come around with it, you know, and he rescues me and picks me up on them, chucks me on the horse, and off we go into the sunset and we live happily ever after. And he's going to give me all the things that I can't create for myself.
That's it, isn't it? Not what I desire, what I can't create for myself.
Exactly. So, and what I'm saying to you is the reason why you haven't created it for yourself is because what you truly desire is a lack of money so that you can have this other thing fulfilled, which is the man come along and do it for you.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Right? So we need to be really honest with ourselves and examine the reason why. We also really need to be honest and examine the reason we truly desire, and that is what I've created I did desire.
Yeah.
Right? So if I come to understand, all right, I've created this lack of financial security. I've created it. Why would I create such a thing? I must have some very strong emotional addictions to this to create it, mustn't I?
Yeah.
If it's something I'm thinking in my mind I don't want, I must have some very, very strong emotional reason. And this is where we get down to people saying, oh, you know, there's this subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind, you know, is not the same as the conscious mind. And forget all that. All it's about is you're not recognising that you have a true desire in your soul to create a lack of money for very good, although not very beneficial, childhood emotional reasons.
Yeah. Okay, that, like I said, there was a belief system I knew that was stopping me from moving forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so with any of these things, the first step, of course, is this. So if we had to make some steps about what's going on in my life, why am I getting some painful events in my life, the first step is look at what I created. Look at the creation. State the truth about it. State the truth of it. Third point, own it. Very important point. How can I ever change if I don't own the fact of what I've created? I can't ever change. So I need to own it. Once I've owned the creation and I've stated the truth about the creation, I've owned the creation, so now I'm going to emotionally own. I do not want money. My life is a shambles and a mess, and it's illustrating to me how much I don't want money, actually. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's telling me everything I need to know. Own that. I don't want money. Always then ask why and be honest about the why. And you'll be surprised how many times you'll be really surprised of what is the result of the why. Because most of the time we've avoided that most of our life. Why would I create such a thing? And instead what I do is I go in my mind and go, no, that's not what I want. I really do want to have money in my life. What's AJ saying? He's stupid man. I really do want money. Why would I not want money for? You know, we go down that track. But in reality then we're not understanding the basic principle of the law of desire, and that is what I desire I create.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Is there any questions if we come down there?
5 years ago, I was in New Orleans when Katrina blew in.
Yep.
And I was asking myself, what's my internal hurricane? And I discovered it a month later, that I had been embezzled.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, I had to ask myself, what had been my initial intention for becoming involved with this investment. And I came up with, well, I thought it would give me freedom. The emotion that finally surfaced for me about the embezzler was that I'd been deceived.
Mm-hmm.
So then I asked myself, well, hang on, how have I deceived myself about how I get freedom?
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't through an investment.
Yeah.
As a result of that, I had to sell my house.
Yeah.
Can you help me with this?
I think you've answered pretty much most of your
okay.
questions,
Yeah,
haven't you?
that's it, unraveled then. Okay. Well,
Yeah, like let's look at, here's the embezzler. His emotion is he wants to rip everyone off.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, he has an issue with money. Does he not?
Yeah.
If he wants to rip everyone else, he wants to have a quick buck, you know, thing. Here's you. What's your hook? Your hook into him is?
Easy money.
Yeah. Notice how it's very much the same as the embezzler's motive.
Yeah.
Easy money. Right. This is often the case, by the way. Our motive is often very much the same as the embezzler's motive, which causes the law of attraction. Right? So here I am, I want easy money. So I listen to these words, and there must be some other things playing too. He's a male, okay. So how did you come to hear about all this? Was it through the net, or was it personally?
Through friends.
Through friends, okay.
Who also
lost
went
money,
down the
of course.
same track.
Yeah, of course. So what caused them to investigate it all? Like, what was their motives? You see, it was probably all much the same, some easy money and so forth. You know what I mean? You can see how the law of attraction is just bringing all these people together for a big trigger about money and financial security and so forth. Okay. That obviously comes from inside of me an unhealed emotion that I can't create for myself. You needed somebody else to create for you. You had your own money, didn't you? Otherwise you wouldn't have had anything to invest,
That's right.
would you? So you had some of your own money, and you could have created something for yourself with that money. Could you not?
Yes.
But you decided that you couldn't.
Yeah.
So what's the emotion there? I don't know what I'm doing, I'm stupid when it
Lack
comes
of
to
faith
money.
in myself.
Lack of faith in myself. You can see you can list quite a few,
Yeah, yeah.
and you need to list quite a few. And what you do there is you go through that list and start working through those emotions one by one. Allow yourself to feel about all of those emotions as to why you didn't have any faith in yourself, why you didn't believe in yourself, why you felt you had to give someone else your money to create more. All of those things, because basically it all came from your hook, and that is that you believed inside of yourself that you weren't good enough to do it for yourself. And all that had someone come along, easy money, yep, give him some money. Well, he lost it all, and probably it's all somewhere in a offshore bank account somewhere, right? And every one of those people who were attracted to the easy money are now out of money, because every one of those persons had a true desire. So what was their true desire?
More money.
Now see, that's their intellectual desire. That's what they acted on. But the result is that they actually lost all their money. So what was their true desire?
To lose all their money.
To lose all their money. That's their true desire. Now, why would a person want to lose all their money? There've got to be some pretty big emotional reasons to want to lose all your money. Can you see that? There's got to be, doesn't there? All right, so it might be one, I don't feel worthy of having any money. Two, it might be that I'm quite angry about money, and so therefore every time every time I think about money, I'm upset and angry and frustrated. That's going to reject money. Three, I might think money is evil and negative, bad.
That's an old message from my mother.
Yeah, and so forth. I might have been manipulated by money in the past, and now that I've got some, I feel manipulated by it. I feel controlled by it, so I want to get rid of it all again.
Could it be also from guilt from having pinched money as a child?
Very much so.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I put my hand up for that one.
Yeah, and how many children have pinched money as a child?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of us, right, have done that one. I did it once with my grandmother. I can remember I felt so guilty afterwards I had to go and own up and give it all back. But what I did was I went to a person and put all of the money in some plasticine that I had. Bad idea. It took me ages to get it back out again. It's like, anyway. But yeah, see, it's like, this is what we do, is we feel guilty. There's all sorts of emotions at play, all sorts of emotions at play, right down to emotions regarding love, love of a parent, love of other people. You look at how many people in Australia are honoured if they have lots of money. Like, it's all right to have sort of some money in Australia, isn't it? But if you've got lots of money, it's a totally different thing, isn't it? There's a lot of negative connotations there in Australia generally. And by the way, in other countries it's even worse in many cases. So there's also even cultural and environmental factors that would cause us to want to reject money. How do all your friends act when you have plenty of money? There might be jealousy projected at you, and you might be rejecting that. There might be the issue of feeling like, they want to bring you down, that projection that people have at you, and you feel terrible about that, so get rid of some money, that makes you feel better. And do you know what I mean? There's lots of emotional reasons why you'd want to do that. And the key is, again, to go back to what I'm creating, I really desired. And it's a very powerful thing to understand. What I'm creating, I really desired. Because if I understand that, I can look at all my creations and be really honest with myself about how they got to be. But if I neglect that, if I neglect what I created, and I just say, no, I didn't want to create that, I didn't want to create that, don't be silly, right? If I say that to myself, I'm now neglecting the fact that I've got all these desires in me that created it. And do you know what the rest of my life's going to be like? It's going to create all those things I think I don't want, but actually I'm not being honest about. And remember, it's what you want at the soul level, which is at the emotional level. Not what your intellect is telling you want, but actually what you feel you want inside.